Hey, welcome everyone. Check out this genius guitar trick that you might not know yet. Everything on this fretboard connects. Today I want to teach you some of those simple connections. So today we're going to work over the G chord, F, to C, back to G. Those were the chords over that intro backing track. At our worship team rehearsal, I often just get thrown chord charts and I have to kind of figure some things out. And sometimes our first instinct is just to play full bar chords and just strum. But for me, and really within the last 10 or 15 years, I've really wanted to know multiple chord shapes for each chord. And I'll show you why that's so important. So we're going to start with some chord shapes that are on the D, G, and B strings, taking the center of that G chord, 5, 4, 3, G up here, 9, 7, 8, and then up here, just barring in the 12th fret. Same thing for the F. You just go down 2 frets, everything the same. And then the octave. And I did also with the G, you can do the octave. And then the C chord. Using this shape, barring the D, G, and B strings in the 5th fret. C, C, 10, 9, 8. And this useful shape right here, 14, 12, 13. And these all closely connect. So the move I want to show you, the trick that eluded me for a long time, this little hammer-on and pull-off from the G. You can just hear the movement of the chords that way, but that hammer-on and pull-off just adds some flair to your playing. So for me, I'm looking at this, when I play those kind of, those licks and tricks, I'm looking at this chord shape here, but I'm hammering onto those 2 notes there, the B on the 4th fret and the D note on the 3rd fret of the B string. But I'm holding on here like a piece of the D chord basically, but on 2 on the G, and then 3 on the B string, but hammering onto 4. And then hitting the root note here in the 5th fret of the D string. That's the move. And then for the F, you have to use an open string. So you're hitting the open G string and then the 1st fret, the C note on the B string here. But you're hammering onto 2 on the open G. And then hitting the root note in the 3rd fret of the D string. So quickly. And you can go same thing with the C up here. That same shape, but you're hammering on. I always think of that 2 frets down from the major 3rd, which is in this case an E note here for the C. but you just keep the shape, but you're using your other fingers here, your third finger and your middle finger. So you're really holding the 7th fret of the G and then 8 on the B string, but you're hammering on from 7 to 9 on the G. Same move. And then you're at this other G shape here. 9, 7, 8. A G triad inversion. And those little connections really make a difference because you don't have to jump back to the original chord. You're kind of working your way up the fretboard here. And another thing we can add to this So, and again, I'm looking really at the full bar chord, only playing a few strings of it as I'm playing this type of a lick. But for the G chord, you're barring in the 3rd fret of the B and E strings. Right here, just the bottom part of a bar chord there, or the top part. Hammering on from 3 to 5 on the B string. You can use your I encourage you to learn to hybrid pick a little bit, but you can definitely pick this. It sounds great also. Then go back to that lick. You can do the same thing on F. You can hear the C chord there. And then you're back to G. And then we can move up the fretboard. G here. You're barring here in the 12th fret of the D, G, and B strings. I'm kind of focused a lot on the middle strings here because then I can expand from there as I'm improvising some rhythm and lead lines. So I'm just going up to, it would be the octave. So we're looking at the 17, 16, and 15th fret, and that, G or D, G, and B grouping. But I'm just using those 2 strings there. A little double stop. So hitting the triad. 16 and 15. And then you can slide down 2 frets, which makes it a F. And then we can, with that same move we did here, we can go down to a C triad here. So we're looking at that same move, an octave up. Just barring in the 13th fret of the B and E strings and hammering on from would be 13 to 15. Back. And that is for F there. We're really looking at an F chord there. Barring 12 on the G, 13 on the B string, but hammering on from 12 to 14 here on the G. On the 15th fret is the F note there. And right below it, as you remove your pinky, is that C. 14, 12, 13. I'm looking at those shapes, but playing around the chord, using the notes in the chord, not really thinking, I'm not thinking about scales, I'm thinking about rhythmic movement and the chord shapes, visualizing this fretboard so I can instantly see the those simple shapes that we just learned, and I know some of you know them, but this little trick can really connect some of those shapes and really make it sound musical. Let me know if you got something from this lesson. I just had a blast showing you this simple trick here today. And remember, God is good.